So, Lord Slar, I have a question for you.
Yes, Rebecca. You said it like she says it again. Got a question for you, Lord Slar.
What do you call a unicorn that had its horn cut off?
I know this one, but I forgot it.
A unicorn.
Okay. I accept your suggestion.
But do you understand what I mean by unicorn?
No.
You know how
tasty as a sandwich.
You know how Varys is a eunuch?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's had its horn cut off. That silence is deafening. Hello and welcome to the Worst of Classic Who series. Today we are doing.
Wait. Now, straight away, you're calling you out on this one. Horns of Nimon, Worst of Classic Who. Like, Horns of Nimon's great. It's like proper fun.
It's ranked among the lowest on the DWM 2014 poll, which is the reason why it's on this list.
But on the Doctor Who magazine 2014, I mean, I've got series on my channel about this, about how shit that bottom 10 is by reappraising them all.
I
even defended the new Who episode that was in the bottom 10. That's how bad the rankings are. I defended a Matt Smith Series 7B episode.
I know. People have terrible opinions. But yeah, this is actually one of the ones on the list I've been looking forward to because of its reputation of being fun. So I'm actually really looking forward to this one.
Well, have you never seen it before?
No, that's the whole point of this series is I'm watching stories I haven't seen yet.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why I'm doing this. I wouldn't do it otherwise.
Sorry, I didn't do my fucking research first. Like, you know, I didn't look at the Connor Law wiki, the fucking Lemon wiki.
No, the whole point of this series is I'm watching them for the first time, so it's even more exciting. The reason why they're in the worst list is by reputation, not because of my opinion. I should make that clear.
Yeah. I thought you said that your fans voted on it.
Some of them, yes. Some of them were subscribers. Like, I think there was a couple that were suggested, like Death to the Daleks and Planet of Fire.
Yeah, I know. Like, that one pisses me off so much. Like, Death to the Daleks? Bad? No. It's lovely. It's a lovely story. It's like it's a big John Pertwee hug, you know.
But yeah, no. Horns of Nimon is one of the ones that's actually ranked really low. However, funnily enough, the ones that are it seems to be with this series, the ones that are ranked the lowest are the ones that I like the most, which is the funniest thing.
What do you think of Death to the Daleks?
I liked it. It could have been better, but I liked it. It was fun.
That wasn't a good enough answer, Connor. It's an actual classic. I mean, Nick Briggs has made 2 sequels to it.
Look, do you want me?
Sequels. That's how good it is.
Do you want me to give you the most negative thing I have to say about it?
Yeah, go on.
It's my least favorite John Pertwee story.
Oh no! We're not going to get on now.
I still gave it a 7, but it's my least favorite Pertwee story. Sadly.
That's way worse.
No. No, there is not.
Are you honestly telling me you'd rather watch The Mutant over Death to the Daleks?
Oh yeah, I really like The Mutants. That's like a proper...
Right, okay. Scrap that one. The Time Monster over Death to the Daleks.
I love The Time Monster. That's one of my favourite Pertwee stories. Love The Time Monster.
Well, there's not really many bad Pertwee stories to try and throw at you.
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing is, there's not really.
It's less boring than the Sea Devils.
Sea Devils is close. There's a few that come close, like Monster Peladon and Sea Devils come close to Death to the Daleks, but they're still like solid. I don't know. Anyway, we're not talking about Death to the Daleks today. We are talking about.
No, actually, can we just watch that instead? It's like.
No, because I'd already did it with Joey. Anyway.
Yeah, but the one you do with me would be better.
Well, too fucking bad. We can watch Death of the Daleks some other time, maybe like in a year or something like that. Anyway, we're wasting way too much time as it is. So basically, Quite often in these videos, I discuss stories I have seen before, so spoiler warning to anyone who hasn't seen any of those stories before, just keep that in mind. Leave a comment on new episodes to defend against Hellbent, because we do that at the end of these videos. The one that we're doing today is going to be a particularly funny one, considering who I've got on. And then also on the screen we have a list of the Classic Who ones we've done in this series that I've done. You see a big green block here, because this is the final one of the left block, which is 60s and 70s. The rest of it's going to be 80s, because the 80s filled up quite a lot of this list. So, yeah, by the time we finished all of that, we unlock the finale, which will be the Dimensions in Time, which will certainly be fitting, I think, as the final one to watch.
Oh, let's crack open a cold one with the boys.
For me, it's tea.
That is the opposite of a cold one. That is a very warm one.
Mm-hmm. I have my Horns of Nimon DVD. It's one of those disgusting Region 4 ones that has the really big banner at the bottom. It's even got the bloody Australian Broadcasting Corporation logo on it. That's how I'm watching it. I don't know if you're using piracy or if you're using like your bloody Tory England DVDs.
I mean, you know, Horns of Nimon was made during the Labour government. Just put that out there. But also, basically, my screen on my laptop's broken, so I'm having to watch. So basically, everything I do on my computer, I'm having to do through my TV, which means I can't also watch the DVD. So I'm using BritBox.
Oh,
like a filthy American.
BritBox.
BritBox. Oh my god.
My god,
so
watching
British. I'm an Anglophile.
Watching Horns of Nimon on BritBox, so quirky.
Do you know, in Britain, when this was made, there was, like, protests and stuff going on. I know so much about British history, because, like, my ancestry from Britain. Oh, my God.
This is, fun fact, this is one of the only stories to cross a decade, because this story started airing in 79 and ended airing in 1980. The only other one was your absolute favourite story, The End of Time.
Oh, yeah, I love that one. I mean, who just wouldn't want to have 20 minutes of your episode dedicated to David Tennant sorrowfully looking at people, then walking away, and then that's 20 minutes of the episode?
I can't think of a better way as a 12-year-old to spend time being sad. I feel like I'm gonna.
Anyway,
are
we gonna press play?
I feel like I'm just doing this on purpose to grind your gears.
Look, I'm gonna grind your gears before you grind mine. All I'm saying.
Well, as long as you squeeze the limit of the process, I'll be fine.
I'll give a good old reach around and squeeze those lemons, boy.
All right, let's forget about that crap and watch the Horns of Nimon, which is.
Ha! He just admitted the End of Time was crap. I win.
No. I admitted the argument was crap. But you never know. Maybe I'll like the Horns of Nimon more than the End of Time. It is possible.
It is a far better story.
Well, we'll see. I hope it's better than Hellbent, though, because that's the whole point of this series.
Of course it is. Come on. I mean, there's nothing in Classic Who that's worse than Hellbent.
Well, that's the whole point of the series, is to watch all of it to find out if there is anything. There's only been there's only been like 2 stories that have even come close, and that was Warriors of the Deep and the Invasion of Time. Everything else was much better.
And the thing is, even the most dreadful Classic Who stories kind of have a camp appeal. There's always something quite, genuine feeling about all these kind of Classic Who episodes, whereas Hellbent is just insulting on every level. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is like Warriors of the Deep had the Merker, and Invasion of Time had the Vardens and the Suntarans falling over the chair. There's always like Turlo saying, "Face it, Tegan, he's drowned." There's always meme moments.
My Merker, my chair, my Vardens. No.
Yeah. Anyway, let's forget about that bloody Hellbent crisis and watch some fun 70s cheese, because that's what I need right now. Are you ready to begin the Horns of Nimon, Mr.
Yes.
Daddy Lord Slar of Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, fucking am. My God, look at this design for this spaceship. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it has, like, kind of sticky out bits at, like, weird angles. It's like, how is that aerodynamic? That's the scene. I told you, quite a lad.
Weakling scum.
Weakling scum. It's beautiful. Like literally, he walks in, shouts at them, leaves, and that's his character. What I love about this character is he just has absolutely zero redeeming character traits. He's just an arsehole, an idiot who does literally everything wrong, and it's just beautiful.
Oh no.
Oh no, somebody's... Oh, actually, well, wait, for once they're not shaking the camera, they're actually shaking the set.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time I've seen where, like, kind of ships go through turbulence, and they actually shake the set rather than just the camera. Wobbly set, wobbly set.
I think they did do that in Midnight, actually.
Yeah, but that didn't have a more wobbly set, though.
True.
And they could make, like, a Midnight 4D experience ride, you know? That'd be great. Everybody sits in a little car. Someone gets possessed. He gets sucked out, not out at the end. Come on, I mean, look at the design of that spaceship. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It looks like a Greg sausage roll with like a few weird attachments to it.
it looks like a mold for a fleshlight.
Have you been fucking Greg sausage rolls? Also, can I just say, this is like the deadest the TARDIS has ever been.
Yeah.
Like, how little atmosphere is there in the TARDIS in this scene?
It's battered.
Yeah, and also they're not even doing like the kind of noise that the TARDIS usually does, like the low hum.
I can kind of hear it. It's a little bit in the background.
Also, Romana's dressed as like a, dominatrix from the Hellfire Club in this episode, just cause.
Yeah, well, they were deep into their relationship at this point. They were trying out all the new things.
Yeah, using her red leather gloves to squeeze his lemons. Right, so now we've had two scenes of people overconfidently trying to fly a ship too fast and end up doing things wrong.
Damn, my themes, right?
It is my themes. It's been like, that's just the recurring pattern, And it's just about how men drive dangerously and they shouldn't be allowed to drive. It's a very feminist message.
Great. This is their message to turn into the 80s.
Okay, so now in this series, he's not only sucked off an alien, he's also kissed K9 unconsensually.
Oh yes, of course. They have to find a way to get K9 out of the plot.
Very clever. There's a giant fleshlight in space.
Fleshlight mold.
Okay, this is a weirdly intimate shot. Oh, come here, scholars. Come here. Can you hear me?
Look at these costumes.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do, like, fascist empire costumes,
Soldy!
That's what you do. Yeah.
I've heard of this guy. I'm in love already.
Yeah, he's gonna chew the scenery and get just more wacky as time goes on.
That's a good spoiler. Huh. He does this in Sharda as well, right? But like the other way around.
Honestly, I can't remember.
I watched it recently. I think he does it from the other Time Lord's TARDIS. I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Also, K9 hasn't been written out of the plot. He's very much in the plot.
Okay.
It's because I don't have to do any location filming, so it's all good. Okay, no, he is being written out of the episode.
Oh yes, your favourite thing in Doctor Who.
Oh, no, see, you gotta open the door using your mind, otherwise it's shit right. And
You have a whole episode to do it, my dear boy.
Yeah, and he's like that scene from the Dark Invasion of Earth where he's like kind of using magnets and science and
yeah. I like
and
that
like
bit.
the side
I like the bit where he's going.
you're not gonna do it.
I like the bit, and he's in the elevator. He's using his like little monocle to be like, how the fuck do we get out of here, Chesterton? Oh, giving candy to kids here.
Aneth. That's a charming place.
You've been to Aneth?
Yes, but not yet.
I love how he just accepts it.
Yeah.
Control, there was a crash.
Why is his shirt unbuttoned?
Here we are.
It was the 70s, man. You got to show off your chest hair.
That kid's not old enough to have his shirt unbuttoned.
Yeah, no, but it's the 70s. Like, it's designed, like, that costume was designed to show off chest hair because it is the 70s.
I trust these adults. Increase of artificial gravity or natural gravity?
Look, stop thinking. It's the Horns of Nimon.
Why don't you put that thing away and show me your controls? Through there. Aren't you going to put that thing away? Through there. Well, all right, if that's the way.
You're right, he has no redeeming qualities.
And he can't leave the room without just shouting, "Weakling scum."
They are our payment in the great contract.
Oh my god.
It doesn't matter what you like the sound of.
Look how sparkly he is.
Do everything in your power to locate that ship. Sir, I have. It must be found.
Do as he says, bitch.
You just hold the gun steady. Don't tax your mind. Why don't you give me the gun, and then I can keep an eye on myself so that I don't get up to any funny business.
Okay, you don't say "good girl" to somebody wearing clothes like that.
So sorry.
Thank you.
Look what he's gonna say. Look, he's gonna say it. No, that's the Horns of Nimon drinking game. Every time he says "weakling scum."
This is fucking sensational.
Yeah,
Whoa.
worst in classic Who, my backside.
What?
That
like-
kid covered in confetti.
Is that like... They tore up like a flag or something?
That he's processed so much data that it's wrapped around him. Because it's like the ticker tape coming from his mouth.
I love this man's like staff. Whoa.
Yeah, the Time Lords are after them.
Wait, what the hell's going on? Why is it in
It's
slow
because
motion?
the gravity's increasing.
Oh. Is he gonna be like weakling scum?
Oh, I hope so.
It sounds like Contiera Ware scale audio. There we go. Ugh. I was about to feel like motion sickness there.
Yeah, no, I am a bit. Oh, the man with no redeeming qualities strikes again.
Ooh.
And the fucking Cocoa Pops are coming right towards him.
Oh dear.
Why is there like 3 doors down that corridor, but it's just a corridor?
So he could say weakling scum without anyone else hearing? That's not the sound? Maybe it's airlocks? I don't know.
Oh.
Here we go.
It's coming right for us.
What a cliffhanger.
Oh wow, okay, that was a lot of fun.
It actually only gets more fun as it goes on.
I'm looking forward to it actually. I was
The pilot apparently was Bob Hornery.
Yeah,
Nice name.
yeah, I was actually gonna say it's finally nice to finally see that guy on Twitter that I've been talking to for like 2 to 3 years now, Lord Nimon. I actually get to see what his whole account is named after.
You can see why. You can see why it's named after it.
Already loving this. This is sensational.
It is. This is quality television. This is why it's literally the top 10 most viewed Doctor Who stories on broadcast.
You know how you know how sometimes you describe things like Rise of the Cybermen and Revenge of the Sith as like the perfect balance between interesting plot and absolutely ridiculous like laughs. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it, because there is an interesting plot there, but it's completely overshadowed by the fucking characters who are just so funny. Bloody weakling scumbag,
right.
Soldy, the
Weakling scum!
And I love how it's like you've got when you looking at the TARDIS team as well. Like you've got Lala Ward, who's playing this dead straight, like it's a serious drama, and then you got Tom Baker, who's just completely taking the piss.
I mean, that's pretty much the state that Tom Baker was in with the show at this point. He's like, I'm just going to take the piss.
But that's the thing, though. It makes it so much fun, though. It makes it so much fun.
You couldn't have picked a better episode to not give a shit.
But this is the thing, though. It's like, it's hitting all the corners of the spectrum of comedy, if you know what I mean. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm digging
and most of the comedy isn't even in the script. It's just what the actors have done with it.
I know. It's amazing what actors can do to make a script like amazing to watch.
So, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the park the other day. It was quite interesting, and it was a really nice park. Lots of nature and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't actually the kind of nice nature that was really interesting me there. It was the fact that I was sitting down on a bench, and all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, it's Briarheart 02. I had so many thoughts, like, what the hell is he doing in England? Why is he here? I mean, what a coincidence that I saw him in this park. And, it's just not something you expect to happen. And I was about to approach him until I noticed him kneeling down. And he was kneeling down in front of this dog turd. And I stood back and thought, whoa, that can't be Brian. Brian would never show such interest in a dog turd. And then he got up and picked up some stones, and he used these stones and placed them on top of the dog turd until the entire turd was encased in stones. It was a very strange thing. I thought, why is he doing this? Some kind of ritual, some kind of thing? And then he sat on another bench right next to the turd and was watching it intensely. And then an old woman came, not seeing the turd that was now obscured by stones, slips over. And Briarheart 02, he went and laughed. He was laughing. He was a belly laugh. It was just despicable. He's not a good man. He's not a sane man. That old woman died because he covered that dog turd in stones.
What a tragedy. But what a first prize! Whoa. What is
Todd's in the
happening?
washing machine.
It's like they're playing pinball.
It is. I was on that episode of Red Dwarf where they play snooker with planets.
Imagine showing a normie's like, oh yes, I've heard of Doctor Who, that guy with the scarf, and the first one you show them is this?
They'd love it.
I'd hope so. And I think meme culture these days would love this story.
Oh yeah.
Like I think it was hated when it broadcast. Because they're like, no, Doctor Who's a serious show, what are you doing?
I think maybe they were a bit... I think we're enjoying it now because we didn't just sit through all of season 17, in which, they were probably a bit sick of this kind of campy comedy by the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it, though. Oh, here we go.
Okay, you can tell the actor can't see anything in there because he's, not even facing in the right direction.
Perfect fit for a, god figure. I love how he's scared of this Nimon thing.
But Lord Nimon.
Republic critics.
Beautiful.
No, they will.
It is a metaphor.
Oh no.
My themes.
Oh my god. Is this a meta commentary on my themes people?
My themes. My themes. The Nimon is a theme. literally half of these actors here look completely gormless, especially that blonde one in the background. Look at her face! It's like, ooh, is she high? She looks high.
I think everyone in the 70s was high. At least the late 70s.
Yeah. Even these, like, I mean, are they child actors? I mean, I think they're either child actors or, like, very, very early 20s.
These are rejected Adric, Nissa, and Tegan prototypes.
Yeah, this is the JNT era companion rejection capsule.
Prepare for the ceremony at once. Yes.
Prepare for the ceremony at once.
It's like his Christmas has come.
Nimon be praised. Oh, look at his face.
So what is this Nimon? The great god of Skonos?
That fucking thing is a god. I love this.
I think it's pretty godlike.
I love this. So deed.
He speaks of the great journey of life.
Look, I love the 70s, mate, but just fucking do your shirt up. I feel like a nonce.
Stop looking, Connor. I can see you looking.
I can't. I don't want to.
Struggling against your inner nonce. I mean, isn't that like the whole character arc with Matt Smith?
I'm censoring it with my hand. See, this is like the Caves of Androzani scene where he's about to regenerate, but Perry's cleavage is hanging out.
Yeah, but that's some, like, you know, non-minor cleavage.
True. Yeah, this is much worse. They're both very dramatic scenes, though.
Well, fortunately, they've zoomed in enough.
Yeah.
Here I am.
You have got problems, haven't you?
Yeah, do up your shirt, mate.
What? Did you just hear that fucking line that Romana gave?
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
you do have problems, don't you? After hearing his, like, life story, it's like, oh, you do have problems. Oh, you know, whatever.
Sound like a Chibnall line, actually.
Yeah, it does. Or should I say, plain thieves? Honestly, how much better would the plain thieves line be if Soldeed said it?
Weakling scum!
You see, yes. No, I'll tell you what, I've just realised, Chibnall's Doctor Who would actually be great if they only hired extremely camp actors.
Yeah,
It's
like
because
Alan
they're
Cumming.
only hiring,
Alan-
really... yeah, exactly.
Alan
All the
Cumming
time
and the
they have
Witchfinders.
really dour actors, you know, like... Not saying that they're bad or anything, but it's just like they're
Yeah, so,
kind
see,
of
like,
very
imagine
serious.
like Tosin Cole in this story. It wouldn't work.
That's very odd.
I feel like Tom Baker wrote this story. It's so.
I have a complaint to make.
What?
Yes, that pilot of yours.
Who are you?
I told you.
This is like when Thanos saw bloody fucking Scarlet Witch in Endgame.
That means anything to you?
If you speak again, I shall have you eliminated on the spot.
Eliminated on the spot. God, I mean, it's true. Chibnall era Doctor Who would actually be great if they was just so camp. Like, if they just got camp actors.
Oh, yeah.
It would be actually enjoyable.
I
Like, it wouldn't be good, but it would be really enjoyable.
I reckon Bradley Walsh would really get into it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't just have. It doesn't. Like, you can't just do it just with the actors. It needs to be the directors in it, because the directors film the Chibnall era so, like, seriously, and it's quite dour at times. Whereas you need somebody who's going to, like, embrace the camp factor.
Oh my god, Soldeed is a hero.
The name of the Second Skonon Empire.
His legs are still there.
Well, he deals justice where it's due.
Does also sacrifice children, though.
The Nimon. I'm gonna do the signal now.
It shall be the greatest empire.
Damn, this is epic.
Of fire,
I feel like I'm watching like Lord of the Rings or something.
My
Watching-
God, that's a high compliment from a Kiwi.
I'm being a little bit ironic, but I feel like I'm watching Hell's Deep with like the big speeches.
And let's see, that was a good must speech.
Yeah.
Better than Capaldi speeches.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guarantee the Horns of Nimon. Nothing in Series 13 will even come close to being as fun as this.
Well, so far there hasn't been anything in the Chibnall era like that. Even episodes that are trying to be fun really struggle just because of how dour the direction
Yeah, like
is.
yeah.
Witchfinders, like Alan Cumming is trying so hard to make the episode fun, but it's just like everything else about it is just
As soon as he's off
Ugh.
screen, that the episode just like sinks in a pit.
into misery. And then you get the Morax, who are like possibly the most generic shit villains I've ever seen.
The Kralls,
And who like just, you know, the Kralls are bad, but at least they don't just exposition everything. We were sent here for war crimes and locked here, that's why we're here, now
Actually-
we're back and we're evil.
I can imagine Alan Cummings playing Soul Deed. Actually,
So could I. He is the modern reincarnation of Soldeed.
he has a very similar face.
And similar camp mannerisms. My Nubian prince.
My Nimon prince. I like how I really don't give a shit that the Doctor's sideline, because Soul Deed is like the proper main character to me.
Yeah, no, he is. This is Soldeed too. Oh, this is like, you know, Colin Baker talks about when he was in Arc of Infinity, and like the director had to come aside and say, you know, is this show called Maxwell Who?
I mean, yeah.
because he was like just trying to take over the stage too much. That's exactly what's
The
happening
thing is,
here.
Arc of
but the
Infinity,
director just let it happen.
Arc of Infinity goes shit after he stops being in it.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, look at that TARDIS. It looks like it's been like abused and assaulted.
Honestly, I like it when the exterior is like that, when it's all battered.
Yeah, it's well
It's
traveled.
like it's, you know, yeah, well traveled. Like,
But it does look
looks
like
too
it
like
does.
clean.
It does look like it's about to fall over, though.
There are always people like you pointing guns or phasers or blasters.
I
And
told
don't
you.
do-
This is a parody of Doctor Who's tropes. I've heard this before, and he's acknowledging it.
My theme.
My themes. I'm not wrong though.
Yeah, just like the Space Museum.
True. I love the Space Museum.
Me too. Great story.
Ooh, what is this?
I don't know. I literally don't remember this scene. What is it? Dead? What does it look like?
Oh my god, that genuinely scared me.
Oh my god, that was actually. Unironically, that was a brilliant effect.
That was fucking amazing.
That was an amazing effect. Like, okay then. Yeah, best episode ever. I'm alright.
Classic Who is so unpredictable.
It really is. That's what I love about it.
It's just like the Time Warrior. It's like phenomenal story, but then the explosion at the end is awful.
Just dropped in.
Oh, here we go.
Dropped in.
I'm looking forward to
You
this.
must have.
I am.
I thought so.
God, if it's this scene, are they gonna kiss? Are they gonna kiss?
They're like perfect for each other.
Yeah, they were made for each other.
They drink the same Kool-Aid.
They're both on the same drugs, I think.
Out of harm's way, where you should be, you meddling fool. After him, you fools, you don't.
Public speaking, I'd like to say one thing, and let me make it perfectly clear. I stand before you desperate to find the exit. Can anybody help me?
It's just that's just the scene.
How delicious.
Honestly, this episode is like, what if Time Lash was good?
I haven't seen Time Lash yet, but that's in this
Oh,
one.
okay.
Or this Worcester Classico thing. I have a feeling David Tennant's a big fan of this story because he mentions the grathetic anomalizer quite a bit in interviews, and there's also a lot of like his mannerisms in this story as well with the Fourth Doctor. So I've got a hunch.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's true.
Because he does a lot of "oh yes" and "oh well" and all that.
It's the character options action figures, new and wrapped.
Damn.
This is where they make the Funko Pops. That's where the Nimons get their power.
No, the Nimon are scalpers. They've got all the action figures.
Yes, they're scalpers. You dare steal the Season 8 Blu-ray.
I brought you the tribute from Aneth.
It reminds me of that bloody thing from Aladdin, like the big tiger thing that comes out of the sand. Who dare disturb my slumber?
He sent you to be executed.
No, really?
You are a liar.
Mercy, Lord Nimon! I brought you the tribute!
Die, you weakling scum.
There we go. Also, I love the high heels platforms.
Honestly, I think actually, like Lala Ward taking it so seriously, it kind of helps because it's like she has quite a dry sense of humor, and by her taking it so seriously, it makes it even more funny. Oh my god, we're already halfway. This is flying by.
Yeah, of course it is, because it's the horns of Nimon. I did tell you at the beginning, I object to this being considered one of the worst Doctor Who episodes.
I'm actually kind of disappointed because I don't want it to end. Really.
That's right. You've still got half left.
I know, but I'm just.
You still have the best seed of the episode to go.
Okay, well, I'm just really. I don't want it to end. I want it to keep going for forever.
That's some high praise right there.
Dude, it's so good. This is more entertaining than most Doctor Who that's aired since 2010 for me.
The man's not wrong. Man's not wrong.
It's just there's just this magic about it. It's so much fun.
It's something you can only get with Classic Who, really. This kind of magic.
I think you could.
They'll never be able to recapture it.
I mean, I think you could if, with the right people and the right.
Nah, it needs to be just like they can't make TV, like shit on purpose. It has to be just by the fact that they have no money and living in the 70s. Like that's the only way it works. I mean, the only time I've seen like kind of old shit TV replicated well was there was an Inside Number 9 episode where basically they kind of made basically a 70s kind of weird episode, like we're using the same kind of technology, kind of acting stuff, and that actually really worked. That felt really authentic, but every other time I've seen it done, it hasn't worked at all for me.
Okay. I definitely need to crack into Inside Number 9 at some point because everyone tells me to watch it.
Oh, it's so good. Like, it's basically just each week there's like a new weird concept, usually horror, but not always. Sometimes it's kind of like murder mystery.
Apparently it's got really good comedy in it as well.
Oh yeah, the funny episodes are really funny as well. I mean, all I'm saying is Rhys Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton would, if they were made Doctor Who showrunners, would make the best ever season of Doctor Who.
Well, yeah, I mean,
guaranteed. They are so good at serialized kind of concepts.
I've seen League of Gentlemen, and that's wild. That is a weird show.
But Inside Number 9 shows why they'd be so good for Doctor Who, just because they have that just boundless creativity.
And they're fans. They're fans of the show as well, so they understand what's in it.
Exactly. They would be amazing.
Like I know we said,
BBC hire them.
Like I know we said I know we said like I know we said we don't want fans next, but if you were to have fans, they would be the ones to get.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, they've proven before how capable they are of making a show,
And if you had more than one, they would be able to carry the load together rather than have one showrunner get like their life ruined by it.
Yeah, that would be good too. There's too much like the show. This one showrunner thing only worked because it was.
Because you think about it, like
Russell T Davies.
Russell T Davies nearly died making the show, and then
Yeah, only he could manage it. Only he had that strength
and then like
of character to do it.
You saw what happened when Moffat had to not only run the show but also have to do like the 50th anniversary and have kids and do Tintin and Sherlock at the same time. Like it just became
You got
a mess.
Series 7.
It just became a mess, and then Chris Chibnall, like he's having to space it all out and like really just calm down and not put in a lot of effort, obviously, because it's just impossible to be the showrunner of Doctor Who and not like die.
Yeah, they need to go back to like, a kind of format where it's not just one person at the top.
Yeah, if you got like a team, like two showrunners and like a bunch of script editors and all that, like a hierarchy.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's good spitballing. Horns of Nimon has inspired talking about what could make the show great, and I think that is a testament in itself to its quality. So there we go. This is what's missing from this show. I'm genuinely excited. I have no idea what's going to happen next, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I genuinely have not seen you this happy ever. Like it's amazing.
This is the opposite of the end zone.
But it's just so nice to see somebody so excited by a Classic Who episode.
I know. I love Classic Who. It's so fun. There's nothing like it on Earth.
You can see why I don't want to watch Nightmare of Eden now, just because I want to preserve that kind of, there's an episode I haven't watched. Like, it's exciting.
I know that. I know you're saying that, but I think Nightmare of Eden is really underrated. Anyway, I'll leave that up to you. It's not my decision.
Yeah, don't pester me like Maddox.
Yeah, but if you do decide to watch it, it would be epic. Although I almost feel like this would have been a great one for you to end on.
Oh, absolutely. It was one of the kind of... This was one of the last episodes I watched that I hadn't seen before. But that was actually quite a few years ago at this point, because like I've never been my last story for about 4 or 5 years.
Don't get me wrong, Nightmare of Eden is funny, but it's not Horns of Nimon funny.
Yeah. Well, no, how could it be? This is the best, this is the funniest episode of Doctor Who.
What about the Romans?
Ooh, that's difficult. Honestly, I think just Soldi edges this episode.
The bloody Ribos operation's really funny as well, but that's like on purpose.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Well, so is the Romans.
God,
I love his platform tributes.
Oh my god. Oh,
he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
Is this like that hallway from Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, I wonder, like, if like he's able to do like the fucking red cloth thing with the bull, why wasn't he instantly attracted to Romana's costume?
That's a good point. Maybe because she wasn't like waving it around.
That's true. She just needs to do a little dance.
Mm. Or maybe the Nimon and the Attack's men. Or I could be wrong on that. We'll see.
Well, I mean, there is woman that he's about to attack right there.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
Love the studio floor, by the way.
Look, don't ask me to explain the Horns of Nimon. Just let me enjoy it.
All right.
I am joking, but Wow, Soldi wasn't saying that. They really do look like failed Tegan Nisser and Adric.
They do.
Where it came from. It is very strange.
This actor is so good. He adds so many different weird mannerisms.
Yeah, like he's just an insane man. I mean, he's either that actor is either actually insane or he's one of the greatest actors to have ever lived.
I think he's
to portray an insane man so well.
I think he's a bit like bloody that guy from Underwater Menace. What's his name?
Oh, Joseph First.
Yeah,
playing Professor Zaroff.
Yeah, man. I'll imagine.
I saw Joseph First in another show.
Imagine Zaroff and Soldeed meeting.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Now, I saw Joseph First in another TV show in Callan, which was a bit weird. like where basically he's a spy for like the communists. He has to get shot.
Imagine a meeting between fucking Zaroff, Soldeed, and the Slovene that becomes Prime Minister.
And
we are at war.
What? And King James.
Yeah.
Like you can tell the actor can't see anything.
I love how the last breath of 62 was the War Games, which was like this really like epic, amazing tale, and then the last breath of 72 was this fucking thing.
It sums up the Graham Williams era perfectly.
I know I know Shada was meant to be the finale, but man, this really does sum it up perfectly. Although I think Horns and Nimon and Shada are like two opposite ends of the coin of the Graham Williams era of what I really like about it. Like one of them is like genuinely really good Douglas Adams Time Lord drama, and then the other one's all the fucking Horns and Nimon.
Just like camp babble.
It almost looks like you go on the runway. I want to see bloody one of the Kardashians wearing a Nimon costume on the runway. Just strolling about.
You scalped some more action figures.
Bloody scalpers, get rid of them. They're on stilts so they can grab the action figures at the top shelf.
Yes.
This is very 10th Doctor. I've been saying it before.
Yeah.
This is... I swear.
And K9 finally gets involved in the episode.
I want Sol D to beat K9 now. Hopefully it happens.
He is going to beat K9.
You did it.
Master?
What is it? Some kind of machine. It's alive.
Get fucking rolled.
Leave the guards to watch that, and bring this machine to my laboratory and have it guarded.
I've captured this dog. I've got a big fucking grin on my face. I can't stop smiling. It's so much fun.
You just... Soldeed's smile is infectious. Like, the end of every sentence, it sounds like he's about to break out into
There was a
laughter.
guy in the background that went to, like, shake his hand and he missed, so he went, ah, and he walked away. It's like when you're clinking glasses at a table and then you go to clink someone but they don't see it. Damn. Religious themes here.
The themes.
But it's so tongue-in-cheek. Don't question God, my friend. Please. For your own sake.
He is just like a mad pope of this planet.
It's Bolstrick the Dog Fiddler.
I play the Nimon on a long string.
It cuts to the Nimon going, wait. Fuck me, this is amazing.
Those are some wide trousers.
It really warms my heart that, like, a famous actor who's been in lots of serious dramas and is, like, most people know who he is worldwide, David Tennant, probably loves the Horns of Nimon.
Not only he loves the Horns of Nimon, he was inspired in his performances by the Horns of Nimon.
Mm-hmm. His iconic and famous and popular performance as the Doctor is inspired by this fucking story.
It's beautiful.
It's literally, a lot of his character is based on, like, this and Robots of Death, I found.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Did he just spank her?
Yeah, he just smacked her ass. Right, Tom Baker, you're cancelled.
What
he just... I mean, it wasn't quite as bad as when Matt Smith did it, but still.
I think that may have been like by accident, by the looks
Yeah,
of it.
I think let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was by accident.
Yeah.
He smacks her ass.
It's not like Matt Smith where he like looks right at it and then gives it a big whack.
In a skirt that's a little too tight.
Like, there's literally a scene in Angel State Manhattan where River's being threatened by an angel and he looks right at her ass.
Well, and there's like the scene where he sexually assaults a lesbian too.
Oh god, Crimson Horror. This Nimon skirt is just a little too tight. I thought he was going to go to spank him.
Yeah, so that... Yeah, fortunately the Nimon can't see for his mask, Doctor.
All thing worked. There is power in this.
Oh my god, K9 is a deity.
Calm yourselves, you crazy.
Craven is his favourite word. He's really struggling to find that joystick.
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
I don't know.
What was the point of those lines?
Ooh, that's a big nipple.
A very sore nipple if you think that's a nipple.
For some reason, I get the feeling the Nimon probably smells
Look
terrible.
who's coming to party.
Oh, is there another one? Yay.
God, they're having a house party on Skonos.
Hell yeah. I love the way they stroll around. They're like arms swinging.
So this is the great journey of life.
This feels like a Russell T Davies series finale. How many Daleks? Millions of them. Soldeed, I'm coming to get you.
Everything.
Yeah, because they had hyperspace in the Stones of Blood as well, right?
Yeah, that's what I was referencing
Yeah.
earlier. I do love the Stones of Blood.
I do too.
What a strange camera angle.
I know. Really getting up and close with old Soldeed.
It is I, Saldid.
God, it's like a horror film. You just hear it down the corridor. Lord Nimon! Oh, shit.
Time for your dinner.
Dinner time, Nimon. Your dinner is ready, Nimon.
You meddling fool. You shall die.
He looks so scared.
I like how he just almost looked right at the camera. Ramana. Yeah, I'm just so enamored by this story. I'm sad that it's almost over.
So it's still got one more 25-minute block of solid BBC gold.
Yes, I've just this has not disappointed me in the slightest. This is everything that it's been chalked up to be by everyone who's talked about this story. Like all the videos I've watched with you and all the others talking about like the Horns of Nimon being this fun camp adventure, I was a bit worried. I was like, maybe it won't live up to that standard, but no, it really has.
If anything, I think you seem to like it more than any of us, and we all like it.
This is so good.
Well, you get the best scene is in this episode, so yeah, there's well more on the way.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, if this was like, the last episode kind of aired in '98, that means like this was getting broadcast over Christmas. What a Christmas treat! Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
This is much better than any New Who Christmas special. This is really special and was at Christmas. It's exactly what you need.
Is he dead?
No, just knocked out.
He's even manages to make being knocked out hilarious. This man is a god amongst men.
Also, I was gonna say, Tom Baker breaking the fourth wall is so much more fun than Peter Capaldi because, like, it's really tongue in cheek. Whereas when Capaldi does it, he tries to do it in like a more serious way.
My God, these Nimon really are very blind. I want to see more Nimon pursuit chases.
Their hips
This is
can't
amazing.
move. They can't move their hips properly.
They are genuinely less mobile than the Ice Warriors.
Soldi is charismatic even when knocked out.
It's true.
Me and Maddox have agreed that Lala Ward is, when she's like in a fit of peril, it's like she's like in like orgasmic terror the way she acts.
That's
so,
true.
like, she's so over the top.
A small price to pay.
It always does.
Wow. In the midst of this camp story, there's just some genuinely good drama hiding away in the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The moment Lala Ward gets a scene by herself, it's like, oh yes, now this is serious drama.
Like, it's just like bloody Rise of the Cybermen or Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, exactly.
You just never know what's going to come next. I thought he said Tegan for a second.
It sounds more like you say teacup.
Oh, it's Weakling Scum.
Yeah. In the morgue.
Is he going to become the
No,
next
she needs to, like-
Dust Corpse?
Yeah. She should whisper in his ear, "Here's the weakling scam now."
Not gonna lie, he kind of looks like a butcher I know.
Just go in the shop next time and shout
Oh,
weakling scam at him.
the scalper's gonna have his toys taken away? Or not?
Or do they have a new toy? Look at his smile, like such a shit-eating grin. Oh, in the day of the Daleks formation.
What's going on? Why is he such shock?
Because he's only seen one Nimon before.
Oh.
He didn't know there were more of them. He thought it was just one who was a god.
Wow.
Welcome back, Romana.
Ah.
We have not moved.
Work with.
That was merely
Yeah.
kindly remove me from this surface.
God, K9 is now the master rather than the Doctor.
Mm-hmm. What a character arc.
He's a theme.
This is the last appearance of David Braley, I think. Unless you count Sharda.
Well, I suppose we have to count Sharda now.
Yeah, I count Sharda as part of season 17.
Yeah, I think now that there's a full version of it, yeah, we may as well count it.
I think we should too, so that people can stop like whining about season 17, because it's so much better than people say, in my opinion.
Yeah, just adding Sharda makes it a much more complete, well-rounded series.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Sharda cannot be part of season 17. I mean, it says so on the Doctor Who Classic Series website. So,
And also,
all I'm saying.
And also, it actually there's a part of that story that brings up entropy, which becomes a big part of season 18. So it's actually fits well into the like continuity anyway.
By complete accident, almost
Yeah,
certainly.
of course, but you know,
The journey of life. God, look, they all just walk like this.
they really are blind, aren't they?
Yeah. That's it. They are less mobile than Ice Warriors. Sully Caldinez is a contortionist.
They're almost
compared
like
to these lot.
it's like when they can't see you, they're useless, but when they can see you, they're all powerful.
Yeah, you're fucked if they see you. But if you just stay below eye level, you're golden.
Yeah, it's like they're like anti-weeping angels.
They have no peripheral view.
Well, what I'm saying is they're anti-Weeping Angels, because Weeping Angels are only powerful when you can't see them, whereas with the Nimon, they're only powerful when they can see you.
Oh, that's a theme right there. Reverse Weeping Angels.
Oh no! I liked him.
He's no soul deed.
Go on without me, it's too late. See, this is a fucking parody of tropes.
Either that, or it's just like...
Or it just is tropes.
Because they were lazy writing. It might just be lazy writing, you know? It might not be clever. It might not be a muffin.
I'm not sure, because the Doctor did point out tropes before. I don't know, it's...
Not everything is a muffin.
I understand that, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was piss-taking tropes in a way.
You heard it here first. Connor loves muffins, just as long as it's in the Haunts of Nimon.
I mean, I might chuck on the special features at some point and see if Anthony Reid tells me it is or not.
But Anthony Reid's complaining that they didn't highlight the part of the episode that he thought was most interesting.
Well, we can't ask Douglas Adams.
Later, you will be questioned, tortured, and killed.
Well, I hope you get it in the right order.
Oh, that was funny.
Whoa, that's a really they're swirling.
God,
around.
they're drunk! They're drunk! They're drunk! Look at them!
Oh, they did exactly what he wanted them to.
Of course.
Hell yes.
That is what Tom Baker does.
Mm-hmm. That's something that Troughton would do as well, tricking them into doing something he wanted.
Yeah.
This is going to be a bit sticky.
Ooh.
Oh no, she's become one of the Scalper's figures.
You meddlesome hussy. Do not touch the
You meddlesome
sacrifices.
hussy.
Don't dare blaspheme the Nimon. Start off with...
How many Nimons? Well, I've just seen a whole lot more.
How many Nimon?
So, this is a great journey of life.
They're passionate nomads.
You have brought this calamity upon me.
You brought
It's
She's
beautiful.
playing it. She's so serious.
She's trying to do this as character drama, and she's like, my dreams of conquest.
How many
It's
Nimon
amazing.
have you seen today? 3!
You are all doomed.
Even his death is absolute banter.
Fucking hell. He's just fucking stone cold dead, but I can still notice him.
You're doomed. Yeah, he's still the center, he's still chewing the scenery as a corpse.
My fucking cheeks hurt.
My dreams of conquest.
Doomed. Doomed.
Nimon be praised. Oh, he's rescued all the action figures.
Hell yeah, the Scalper's been defeated. Oh no, they drank too much.
Yeah.
How are they gonna stand? There we go. They need
Look
to
how
do some
skinny their legs are,
yeah,
too.
they need to do some leg day. That's why I said they should go on the runway.
They're all very big on hand
this is-
gestures in this episode. And they're big on this camera angle, this fucking what you see
Damn.
versus what she sees camera angle.
It was ended.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Is that an
Sorry,
umbrella?
Soldeed on a 30.
It's an umbrella. Look,
Soldeed's
it's
on a 30.
that is the
kill
top of an umbrella, I'm telling you. I
No,
swear.
it's like one of the things you put a fairy cake in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just it. The episode's over now.
Oh, it is a Christmas special. Look, they've got Christmas lights.
Yeah. No, but like literally, that's the end. That's the end of the plot. Like, there's no kind of wrap up or goodbye or anything like that. They're just straight back into the TARDIS after the explosion.
Well, come on, old girl. There's quite a few millennia left in you yet.
Thank you, Doctor.
Not you, the TARDIS.
Oh, okay, that was a nice ending there.
Wow.
Graham Crowden, what a hero! What a hero!
What a story.
Well, what do you think then?
I thought that was bloody great. That was so much fun.
Right, can I just say, anybody who doesn't like that story, you're a miserable bastard, and you don't deserve Doctor Who. All I'm saying.
Oh, mate, that was just sensational. I loved that. I loved that story. I don't give a fuck what bloody fucking wanky standards people have.
Yeah.
Like this
Who are
is
the
so.
who are the wankers rating Horns of Nimon solo? Like, seriously.
That was easily one of the best ones in this Worst of Classic Who series for me.
It's a scandal that it's on this list of worst of classic Who. An absolute scandal.
Absolutely. We're gonna get right into this review. Like, so as I've stated, you got the brilliant blend of both Tom being completely off the wall, but then also Lala Ward taking it completely dead serious, which presents two completely separate kinds of humour. And then you've got fucking Soldeed, who's the fucking brilliantest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Nimon! Nimon! It is I, Soldeed!
I love that scene where she's it's like it's the end of the universe or something. She's like, how many Nimon have you seen today? And he's like, 3!
I've seen 3! My dreams of conquest!
The Nimon themselves are so ridiculous, but it's great.
They just look drunk and blind the whole time.
They are proper meme territory. Like, you've got these ridiculous looking suits and these long legs on stilts, and they can't fucking see anything. But then when they're in front of you, they are unstoppable forces.
Well, until you get a rock in that stick.
And they are like written to be these like gods of the universe who are going to invade through hyperspace. And then you got the bloody weakling scum guy as well. He's
Weakling scum!
He's fucking hilarious. You've got this fucking spaceship that looks like a fleshlight mold. You've got bloody K9 telling people what to do. It's just, oh man, that was so good.
It is just the perfect storm of camp excellence.
That is a special story right there.
You could never recreate it and have it be anywhere near as good.
Oh yeah, if it was in
only because that exact precise day with those exact precise actors in that precise way, it works so well. Any of those out of order, it falls flat.
Yeah, if there was any other era that would maybe be able to recapture this to some degree, would be the 60s. I can't imagine any other era getting anywhere near this good doing this kind of story.
Exactly.
Like, this just, for me, encapsulates everything that people are wrong about when they talk about Graham Williams' Doctor Who. Because it's just so much fun. And I don't know why these miserable fucks don't like this, because it's so good.
It's a mystery.
Oh, man. Like, fucking... It just kind of baffles me that people can... I mean, obviously everyone's entitled to have their own opinions, and I respect that, but I find it so bizarre that people, like, will genuinely think shit like Kill the Moon is like this brilliant, serious drama when it's really not. And then you got stuff like this that is just so honest and so camp and so deliciously just fun. And it's just like, I feel like people are really missing out when they say they don't like stuff like this, because fucking hell, this is so good.
Yeah, they're the kind of people who say that we're too mean for attacking the Doctor, Widow, and the Wardrobe. No, it's just a bit of Christmas fun. It's like, no, bitch, this is fun. That's shit.
I know, and this aired on Christmas as well. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like I can't even do like a typical review on this one. All I can say is that all the characters were fun. The costumes were ridiculous and fun. The whole plot with like the horns and the invasion and the hyperspace takeover and all that was great. There was some weird, really strangely quite good drama, like nuggets of gold in there as well. Just sandwiched between this fucking melodrama.
It's at that Rise of Cybermen level.
Oh yeah, the bloody how many Nimon have you seen scene is like when John Lumick steps out of the fucking chair like Darth Vader.
Yeah, no, it's like, you know, you can't. It's like that bit from the end of part 1 of Rise of the Cybermen, where it's got like, you know, kind of Don Warren going, "What if I refuse?" And that's kind of like Romano's serious performance compared to fucking John Lumick.
In the same scene, he's just
I'm sorry I couldn't attend the party.
It seems I have crashed the party. Yeah. Oh, I would love to have seen Roger Lloyd Pack in a Classic Who story. Actually, that would have been cool.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, he was in Mr. Bean actually as a French waiter. I also love his performance in Harry Potter as well. Like, these are 4 very real dragons. What's that, boy? The Chinese fireball. Ooh.
I haven't seen Harry Potter in so long, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, mate, it's... Yeah. Someday, maybe.
I have seen all the films, but it's a very, very, very long time ago.
Yeah, okay. Anything you want to, like... Because I'm just sort of blabbering. Do you want to talk about the characters of the plot at all?
No, it's just fun. Like, I don't need to justify Horns of Nimon to anybody. It's fun, and if you watch it and don't think it's fun, well, you're just wrong. So... all I have to say is watch it, and then that's a barometer for like how much of a decent human being you are.
The thing is, there is actually kind of a plot there, but it's just there is some. I genuinely think there is some really good plot in there. It's just I always forget it because of all the fun that I'm having with everything else.
I mean, come on. I mean, with the plot is a fairly standard, mediocre Doctor Who plot, but it's just like because of the actors and characters in it, it elevates it to a whole new level. Like, you know, if say this story was done by Big Finish, it would just be one of those kind of mediocre audios. You kind of listen to it, goes in one ear and comes out the other, and you'd forget about it like the next second. But because of the way it was made, it elevates it to like just this excellent, amazing piece of fun. I mean, that's all I can say. Like, I've got no substantive analysis or whatever. It's just fun. Just watch it.
Yeah, I know. It's pure popcorn entertainment, isn't it?
Exactly. It's just entertainment. If you watch it, you will be entertained. That's just what you need sometimes, you know?
Exactly. It was a proper good time. So, in terms of the way the story was received, it's been given a mixed review in the Discontinuity Guide. They said, with its cheap design work and wonderfully watchable, over-the-top performance of Graham Crowden, The Horns of Nimon is by turns brilliant and dull.
I was not bored a moment in this story.
I wouldn't call it dull at all. I thought it was sensational.
Yeah, I mean, some of the sets look dull, but the story itself is not dull at any moment.
Yeah, another group of people said it was the show had acquired a low reputation, but they considered this to be undeserved, or they admitted it was a little more light-hearted than usual. It did feature a performance by Tom Baker, which was rather more serious and intense here than in most other stories of the same vintage. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh yeah, this serious performance. I mean, it was like.
Are you fucking serious?
This was Tom Baker's Heaven Sent. Well and truly.
No, that was the deadly assassin. Tom Baker was proper having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, is there actually a single scene where he's serious in this whole story? No, there isn't. The only one being serious is Lala Ward.
Exactly, but I think it's almost like her being
It
serious
works.
makes it so funny.
Yeah, it's like in any comedy, you need kind of a straight man, like, you know, somebody kind of playing it really serious, and that makes the comedy work.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Ingenious and fun. There we go. That's more like it.
There we go. You see, that's a person who gets it.
Oh,
I
here
respect
we
that
go.
person.
Here we go. Here's one that sounds like a very fucking pretentious person. Radio Times said it was a turgid quagmire of vapid characters, amateur dramatics.
Oh, such a turgid quagmire. It doesn't have any thematic depth. And therefore, I will not lower myself to such base entertainment for the plebs.
You know what they said? Amateur dramatics, mirthless antics, and clattering sets.
Oh, God, what a twat.
Patrick Mulcairn. Although the script contained interesting concepts, these are not portrayed well due to the absurd Nimon costumes. Mulcairn, although thought the cast gave terrible performances.
I will say one thing. The kind of interesting concepts go completely overlooked. Do you know what the purpose of having a labyrinth was? Did you get that out of the episode, Colin?
The labyrinth?
Yeah. What was the purpose of that?
Sorry, can you remind me what that was again?
So, like, that's the bit they're all walking through, the corridors, before the Nimon.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like the labyrinth with the,
yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
I know the one, yeah.
Yeah. So do you know the purpose of that?
Are you asking me because you know the answer, or because you...
Yes, I know the answer. I know the answer. I want to know if you got that from the episode. Because it wasn't stated in the episode.
Okay, well, just tell me what the answer is.
So basically, from above, these kind of labyrinths look like a circuit board. So the idea was that kind of they're building these labyrinths that are like kind of circuit boards to kind of drain the energy of the planets. And that was kind of the big idea of
Anthony Reed's
Anthony
idea.
Reed.
Right.
Yeah. That it was like meant to be like that, and then that's kind of explains the kind of Greek myth about it. That, like, this was the Nimons trying to set up a base by having their labyrinth of circuit board trying to bring them across. And Anthony Reed in the special features is really pissed off that they basically only, like, they barely paid any attention to that concept. Like, it was kind of, he got a line in the episode and they didn't really show it very well. And so, and the fact that you didn't pick up on that, because it's completely overshadowed by everything else. Like, all of the kind of concept and plot is overshadowed by all of, like, the crazy performances and costumes and drunk Nimon.
I mean, that is a pretty cool concept, I will say.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what he means, that guy, when he's saying that the interesting concepts are overshadowed.
Listen, I do.
That is true.
I do have a solution to this that would have been able to include both the best of both worlds, and you'll like this answer. What if it was 6 parts?
I love that answer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 6-part. Come on.
Because then,
6. I mean, I wasn't bored a second. Like, you could have fitted so much more fun into that.
Because you could have had all the camp fun that we just had, but then also explored this Anthony Reed idea that you've just told me.
Yeah, gods.
And the
6 parts supremacy, boys.
The Hordes of Nimon would be a perfect story. Oh yes, lovely. But yeah, the Radio Times person said that everyone except for the leads gave terrible performances, which I disagree with. I thought they were marvelous.
Graham Crowden.
Dude, he put his fucking life's work into that performance.
That is his magnum opus of a performance.
Andrew Blair selected the Horns of Nimon as one of 10 Doctor Who stories that would make great musicals.
Oh, it would! You see, that's what you need to do. Make it 6 parts and make it a musical.
Yeah. Because bloody Doctor Who and the Pirates is a great musical. There's plenty of potential to do that elsewhere as well.
God, imagine hearing Soldeed sing about the great journey of life.
No, they sing about the the circuit board. They explain the circuit board in a song, so it's not boring exposition.
That's what Chris Chibnall needs to do. There's so much exposition in your era, just make it all a musical, so then you can have the exposition in song.
Like you have,
it'll be less obnoxious.
Like you have the doctor be like, "Soldier, could you please tell me about this circuit board? I must know the answer. What's happening here?" And he's like, "Well, I will tell you." And then a bloody jingle starts.
Yeah, like Dudley Simpson doing the music for a musical.
God. Horns of Nimon needs to be a 6-parter and a musical.
There you go. We've made it. We've created the best ever episode in concept.
It would perfectly fit the Christmas special thing as well.
Oh, it would too.
If it did all that, it would be like the best Doctor Who story of all time.
And like you can have like themes about the fact that the Nimons are promising presents, but the presents aren't very good. It's like when you get cold for being a naughty boy or being a naughty fascist dictator. It's a theme.
Wow, we're just finding ways to turn an already great story into a masterpiece.
Oh.
Wow. Worst of Classic Who, my arse. So yeah, this was written by Anthony Reid, but heavily edited by Douglas Adams, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could tell the part of season 17 that Douglas Adams was rewriting a lot of.
And it was directed by Kenny McBain, who did nothing else on this show. There was some very interesting directional choices, wasn't there? Like the really weird close-ups.
The fucking the really weird suck off position, what she sees shots.
I mean, it was certainly entertaining direction. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Whenever there was a scene with Soldy, they always captured him really well.
Oh, absolutely! He was just the central figure, claiming all the attention of every scene, even as a corpse.
Fucking hell! He chewed so much fucking scenery that there's none left.
Yeah, no wonder the sets look shit. It's because he'd been chewing on them so much.
They are very brown, aren't they? Like brown and grey.
Yeah, that's the only really bad thing about the story. The sets are fucking awful. If they looked a bit better,
honestly, I didn't even notice the sets. I liked the thing that was in the background of the room that K9 was in that one time. Like that.
Oh, what the weird? Thing. Yeah. It looked like a dream catcher thing.
And I do like the labyrinth room. But yeah, I thought the direction was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, considering Horns and Nimon's one of the cheapest episodes of Doctor Who because essentially, I mean, you've probably heard before, but for anybody who hasn't, at the time the UK was having really bad inflation problems. So essentially, the budget they were given at the beginning of the season would be worth way less by the end of the season. So when it got to the end of the season, for season 15. Season 16, season 17, the budget that they had by the end, was pretty much worthless. So that's why Armageddon Factor, Underworld Invasion of Time,
Power of Kroll.
Yeah, Power of Kroll, the Horns of Nimon. That's why they look really cheap and terrible. Is because basically the money they had was worth so much less by the time they were making it.
Yeah, that's a shame. Thankfully, in season 18, the direction for the most part is actually really good. The season as a whole looks very good. At least I think so.
Oh yeah, no. I don't like season 18, but it does look beautiful. It's probably the best looking season of Classic Who. By far, not really any competition.
I think maybe you could at a stretch go for one of the 60s seasons with the black and white atmosphere, maybe season 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of atmosphere, it's not the best, but I'm just talking about in terms of purely the stylized kind of direction. And honestly, I don't know how did this happen, because John Nathan Tennant comes in with season 18 and it looks amazing, and then you get the Peter Davison era, and for the most part, it looks shit. What happened? Where did all of your talented stylized directors go? That was the best thing you did with Doctor Who in your first season. Where did they all go?
it's not really until probably like season 25 that the direction gets really good again.
Yeah.
Because like the end of the McCoy era does look great. Funnily enough, when it was at the lowest budget, which is so weird. Like Curse of Fenric, man, that story looks amazing, and that was made on nothing.
Yeah, they just found some really good location filming to do
and
for
really
that
good
one.
directors.
Yeah, really good director, actor, and just scouting the best place to like do location filming.
Well, I
that
think-
can always make a difference. Like, look at Colony in Space. I love Colony in Space, but how much better would it be if they found a quarry to film an alien planet in that didn't look so awful?
Yeah, that's like
Like, it just looks depressing.
that's like the only thing about the story that I don't really care for much is just the muddy setting.
Yeah, there's plenty of other quarries they've done in Doctor Who that look great that they could have used, and like, you know, I'm like, yeah, alien planet looks cool.
Oh, I mean, there are some Classic Who stories that look amazing. They're like Planet of Evil. Oh, Planet of Evil is beautiful.
Yeah, they actually kept that set up in the BBC for a few years to show like kind of new set designs. This is how you make a set, a beautiful set on no money.
Absolutely. And of course, this was the last hurrah for Dudley Simpson, unless you count Sharda, because technically his music does appear in Sharda in the version
No, it
that's
doesn't.
shown.
No, the version that's shown, that Mark Ayers doing a Dudley Simpson impression.
True, but they do play some of the City of Death music in that.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, but that would still have been recreated by Mark Ayers
True, yeah.
because like the original City of Death themes like doesn't exist. Like they got wiped.
Okay. Well, good point. I suppose this is Dudley Simpson's last hurrah anyway. It doesn't really matter. It was the last one that broadcast and the last one that he made.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the VHS version of Sharda where obviously Dudley Simpson didn't make music because it didn't reach post-production? So I want you to guess which composer they got back for the kind of 1994 VHS version of Sharda.
Kev
Or
McCulloch?
93, rather. Kev McCulloch. And it's awful. Like, nothing suits the Tom Baker era less than Kev McCulloch.
Does it have like electric guitars in it?
No, it just like has like, you know, do like I can't even, you can't even do it. It's like the kind of really 80s kind of thing where it's kind of like electronic scream, like do, you know. It's really difficult to describe, but you know what I mean, because unlike regular instruments, you can't recreate that sound with your voice.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, Kev McCulloch's music is very interesting, you could say. Definitely not as good as Dominic Glenn's, I don't think.
I love Dominic Glenn. I think he's my favorite Doctor Who composer. He's so good.
He's
like
fantastic.
His Doctor Who intro is the most unique sounding, and it's just like amazing because like there's just so much mystery to it and a bit of a darker edge.
I found a version that's like a remastered one, and it's made with the intention of being listening with headphones, and it has like lots of spacing in the sound, and it's amazing.
Oh, you have to send that over. I'd love to watch that.
It's so good. Do you want to learn some trivia about the Horns of Nimon?
Oh, go on then. Go on.
Right. So this story is based on the Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. Several names.
Right, I've already brought that up.
Yeah, several names in the story are anagrams or near anagrams of names in the myth. Thus, Athens became Aneth, Theseus became Seth, Minos became Nimons, Corinth became Krenoth. The power complex is an analogous of the labyrinth, and the Nimon to the Minotaur. This is funny because they did the same thing in Underworld as well, I believe, and they may have done it in Time Monster. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's because they're all in the box set, as I like to call it, the shit episodes box set. Although actually, looking back, it's not the shit episodes box set because I like two of them.
Well, you haven't seen the video, but spoilers, I like all three of them.
No, you don't like Underworld, do you?
It's the worst
I can't
one.
sit through it. I can't sit through it. It's awful. It's so dreadfully boring. And is by far the worst looking episode of Doctor Who ever.
Fair.
You know, come on, give me like depressing Colony in Space Quarry any day over that shit.
You'll see why I liked it in the video, but it is the weakest one of that set by far.
Like episode 1 is okay. The episodes 2, 3, and 4, I never again.
Anyway, the Time rotor in the Doctor's TARDIS is removed. The first and only time this has occurred, I believe. Could be wrong on that. The line, "I'm glad I reminded them to paint their ship white last time anything like this happened, completely forgot, caused them quite a ho-ha," is another reference to Greek mythology, specifically when Theseus forgot to paint his flag white, causing his father Aegis, who had an agreement with Theseus to paint his flag white if he came back alive, to jump off the palace in despair. Well, that's quite clever.
Oh, it's so clever. You see, I'm gonna write a story, and it's gonna be about a Greek myth. So I'm just gonna change the name slightly, and like shoehorn every concept from that myth in the story. And it's gonna be everybody who's so clever and has done the classical civilization. Oh, they're gonna love it. It's gonna be so clever.
This is the last time on TV they aired like the original Delia Derbyshire version of the Doctor Who theme, because after this they went for the Peter Howell one. So this is like the Horns of Nimon is the last hurrah.
The last hurrah. In so many ways. Like, you know how Survival was accidentally a perfect ending for Doctor Who? Well, here we go. We got another perfect ending for Doctor Who.
It's so, I find that so fitting that the Horns of Nimon closes out the 70s. When it was obviously meant to be Sharda, but man, that's so funny. Although technically, if Sharda had aired, it would have aired in the 80s anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it's still a 70s story. It was probably filmed in the 70s. So.
Well, the thing is that if you say that, does that mean that Spearhead from Space is a 60s story?
No, because I'm looking at it, like, kind of, you know, from the style it's made.
You gotta go season by season, that's what you're thinking, right? But
well, yeah, because we often kind of classify things by decades. But like,
Yeah.
if you know, but like, there's sometimes in like kind of the early, like, you know, 1980, you'll see stuff and it's like, oh, well, that looks 70s. Like, like watching series 3 of Blake 7, which aired in 1980. It's like it still looks incredibly 70s because the 80s hasn't quite started yet, even though technically by the year it has. Culturally, it hasn't yet, and I'm talking more culturally.
The funny thing is
Talking
that
more by the style.
the funny thing is that in the opposite sense, a Day of the Daleks actually looks like an 80s story. When you think about it, like the way it's shot and the way the sets look are very like Colin Baker era.
Are they?
Do you know what I mean? Like I watched it recently.
So. No, I have no idea what you mean, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, it might be because when I most recently rewatched it, I watched the special edition. But when I watched it, I was like,
so.
But when I watched it, I was thinking like, this looks like 80s Who to me, not 70s Who. Like it looks so different to the rest of the John Pertwee era from what I remember. But it may just be the way it's color graded. I don't know.
I never felt that, but fair enough.
Maybe it's because you watched like the real canon version with the terrible Dalek voices in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one because I do hate the Dalek voice in that, and I hate how pathetic the battle looks. But on the special edition one, even though it's technically better in every single conceivable way, it just feels wrong. Like even though they're shooting using a 1970s camera, there's something about it where you can just tell that it's, you know, not authentic.
Yeah, it does. It does feel more like a sort of a sidestep rather than a replacement.
Yeah, because it's like I was talking earlier about Inside Number 9, that episode where they try to recreate 70s television. That's the only instance where I've seen them manage to do it successfully. Like they somehow managed to recapture that authenticity perfectly. Whereas I don't feel they quite managed it in the special edition. But I mean, it's a great effort, and I'm sure people who aren't like, you know, really weird purists for old television like me won't care and will say the special edition is better. That's fine. But like, just for me, I know I like my shit like Dalek fight where there's clearly only 3 of them and a few holograms allegedly attacking this house with a whole army.
Apparently, Terrence Dicks novelized this story.
I haven't read the novelization. Actually, no, tell a lie. I have actually read the Hordes of Nimon novelization. I forgot I had that, actually.
Graham Williams disliked the story, thinking it wasn't strong enough, and it was made because there were no other scripts available. It was placed in the season's 5th slot in the hope that it would quickly be forgotten once Sharda began transmission. Unfortunately, that backfired. When Sharda was abandoned, meaning Nimon ended up the season finale. and he says it was a weak script and a weak program, hence why we buried it at number 5. I mean, they tend to do that when they have a story they don't like. Like, if you think about stuff like Fear Her and In the Forest of the Night and The Eaters of Light, they tend to slot them, like, just before the finale, so people will forget about them.
It is the shit spot.
Yeah, it's the death spot, really. They have it not just in Doctor Who, but they have it in many forms of entertainment. They have the death spot, which is right before the big, like, finale event.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I feel that because this is something that happens more and more in shows that have really long seasons. I just don't have long seasons. Just like focus on telling a few stories, and then you're less likely to have like ones you have to put in the shit spot because like they're all quality.
Although
like,
the funny thing is
quality over quantity, man.
Although the funny thing is I end up liking quite a few of these shit spot stories.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Graham Williams underestimated how much Tom Baker and Graham Crowden could make out of this story.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Nimon wore 10-inch platform heels to give the impression of their height. That's quite a heel.
I mean, if you've got a 10-incher coming your way, you know, it's like, ooh, this is a bit scary, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's more than bloody the Kardashians would wear on the runway. That's some dedication right there.
It's amazing platform shoes.
Oh, Malcolm Terrace ad-libbed the line "Weakling scum."
Oh, what a lad! What an absolute lad!
Oh my god, that is amazing. This entire story is made legendary by the improv, I think.
Absolutely.
Oh, Tom Baker.
I'm willing to bet.
Tom Baker ad-libbed the scene where he gives canine mouth to mouth.
Of course. I mean, yeah. That was no way that was in the script. But to be fair, I could see Douglas Adams putting that in.
Oh, apparently, the death scene of Soul Deed, the reason why he's laughing is because Graham Crowden thought it was a rehearsal.
Is that his performance? The whole thing. He just thought, oh, this is just rehearsal.
Well, no, it's the bit where he says you're all doomed. He thought it was a fucking rehearsal. But they had a lack of time, so they couldn't do another take.
Oh, that's amazing! It's such a strange delivery as well. I love it.
This story is such a happy accident. I love it. The vacuum-formed cryogenic pods using the Ark in space. I knew it was the Ark in space as soon as I saw those bloody action figures.
Ah, yeah. There we go.
I knew it was the Ark in space.
Yeah, the scalpers like hiding all their action figures in space to keep them away, keep their value until they rise.
Oh, during the production of The Leisure Hive, which would have been made before this aired, the new producer John Nathan Turner asked Peter Howe and Paddy Kingsland to do incidental music demos of a scene at the beginning of part 2 of The Horns of Nimon. Only Howe's demos are known to survive, are included on the DVD as an extra, but were also released individually as part of the Doctor Who Volume 2 New Beginnings thing. Interesting. So,
well, I've got the DVD here. I might actually watch that afterwards.
Interesting. So you can watch it with Season 18 music in it. That sounds interesting, because I love Season 18's music. It's beautiful.
It really is. That is one improvement that the 80s brought, was the incidental music in the 80s is just excellent. I mean, sometimes there's some episodes where it's not great, but most of the time, yeah, until like the 7th Doctor. But even then, there's some good ones in the 7th Doctor.
It's mainly Paddy Kingsland and Dominic Glynn that are the highlights for me.
Yeah, Dominic Glynn's so good.
Yeah, like Paddy
especially when he gets out the electric guitar in Survival. The only reason there's electric guitar in Survival is because originally John Nathan Turner didn't want him to do it, and then John Nathan Turner went on holiday for a couple of weeks, and that's when he recorded it and got it put in the episode while he was away.
Paddy Kingsland's score for Legopolis is one of my favourites in the whole show. I love that score.
Oh, that is a great score.
It's so perfect for the story. Yeah. So
I'll tell you what I love: Roger Limbs for Revelation of the Daleks.
Oh yeah. Oh, great.
I'll tell you, fun fact about Roger Lim, he actually made the jingle for Protect and Survive, which was the program that would air if there was about to be a nuclear attack on the UK. Like, it's been released to the public now. It's genuinely scary. It's just got like Roger Lim doing like little jingle like.
Damn, they should have
on like the fucking BBC nuclear apocalypse program.
They should have played that during Years and Years. You know when they when they had the nuclear threat at the end of episode 1.
And like literally, the program it's literally like, if you do not have a cellar, get a door off its hinges and place it against a wall. Then place a mattress on top of the door and hide inside the door leaning against a wall. You know, that will protect you from the nuclear fallout. I'm sure it will.
They should have had his jingle playing in the scene where Danny and Victor are ass fucking to the nuclear war warning.
Well, you may as well. If the world's about to end, you know.
Exactly. All right, Dylan, give your conclusion and a rating out of 10 for the Horns of Nimon.
Well, I mean, I hate ratings out of 10. So you knew this, and you made me do it anyway.
You don't have to, but I'm just saying.
Okay, well, I'm just to fuck up the system. I'm going to say 10. Down with the system. 10 out of 10 for Horns of Nimon. It's like some of the most fun you can have watching television. Really. Like, I mean, you have to be in the right mood for it, because obviously if you're in the wrong mood, this story is probably not going to work that well for you. But if you're in the right mood for it, you can't get much better than this. And it's a versatile story. It can cheer you up. It could be a drinking game. You can put it on. It's like, you know, somebody is like, it's Doctor Who. I don't know where I'm going with this. Just like, put me out misery, you know?
Fair enough. Yeah, I thought the Hordes of Nimon was an absolute blast. It was so much fun. The performances were just ridiculously over the top and camp, but that's what made it great. The balance of all the different bits of humour on the spectrum, from Tom's improv to Lala Ward taking it dead serious to bloody Soul-Deed and Weakling Scum and the Nimon and the children, and my god, it was so funny.
The children will hear your name.
And I kind of just love the fact that there's this sort of funny irony that they just threw away this amazing concept to just make some fucking stage play.
Just make it pantomime.
I know, and it's bonkers and wonderful, and that's exactly what I love to see in Doctor Who. I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's.
Oh,
fucking...
he's unironically giving it a 9. I love it. I rate it, man.
I know. I honestly, I don't give a shit if it's not like a masterpiece of a story. I think it's so much fun and it deserves that score. It is sensational.
Can I just say, actually, this episode is so much more fun to watch with somebody who hasn't seen it before. Because the last time I watched it, I was watching it with, I think it was with like Joey and Brian for like a commentary. And, you know, I enjoyed it, but like, you know, I wasn't really that enthused. But then watching it with somebody who hasn't seen it before, it was like, I was anticipating every moment, like, oh, it's going to be this moment, he's going to love it, you know. It's such a wholesome experience. I think every time I watch Horns of Nimon in the future, I'm going to get somebody who hasn't watched it before. It shows.
Oh, yeah. I had a funny feeling that when I started this series, that this would be one of the ones that's going to be the most reaction-worthy. And I was damn right. This was so funny. Right then, that means we only have one more thing to do, Lord Slar, and that's
no.
We have to defend a New Who episode against Hellbent, and this time I have given you the fucking awful task of having to defend Closing Time.
Do I have to actually be serious, or can I just not be serious?
I mean,
are you gonna force me to actually think of the intellectual merits of Closing Time over Hellbent?
Well, I'll ask you the question: do you prefer Closing Time over Hellbent?
I'm gonna have to think about that. I don't know. I mean, it's difficult because on the one hand, Closing Time like shit over the Cybermen, who are like my favourite villain. But on the other hand, it's just kind of like, it's shit, but like it's not as obnoxiously shit as Hellbent, which feels like it's rubbing your face in it. Yeah, I'd probably say Hellbent is worse by like a nano hair.
Do you want me to give my reasoning to sort of maybe inspire a bit of thought into the discussion?
Okay. It's difficult.
It is difficult because the closing time is kind of the epitome of cringe. Because it's, Matt Smith and James Corden, who are already really painful in the lodger. At least to us. Some people like it, but fuck me,
Yeah, well, they're idiots. Yeah.
It's just the most painful, typical, like, Hollywood humor possible. Like, the most...
Oh, you're so right.
It's just the definition of, this is what an American person thinks is funny about British people, if you know what I mean? Like a really, like, lowbrow American person flicking channels, if you know what I mean?
Well, that's just James Corden in a nutshell. He's like,
Yeah, but it's the
British
same thing
humor
with,
for Americans, which, like, ruins everything that's good about British humor.
But it's the same thing when Matt Smith's not done well as well. Like, he's he's the epitome of this is what Americans think like a quirky British man is. And it's just a deadly combination, and like the romance with Sophie is it's so cliche, and there's nothing interesting about it. And
she's not even in this story though, is she?
Well, she's barely even in it, yeah. But with closing time, they've got like, this fucking kid, Stormageddon. And then
okay. I was about to say I need to have a rant about that, but then I remembered I'm actually supposed to be defending this episode. Like,
yeah. So, but what I'm trying to say is that it is very cringe, and you have fucking James Corden being the Cyberman with the power of love, which is just the fucking cardinal sin. But the thing is that closing time is one of those episodes where I can get a bunch of mates together and shit all over it and have a fun time laughing about it. Whereas with Hellbent, it's kind of just this really sinister, cynical, like, just dry patch of fucking, like a really, really nasty mess, if you know what I mean? And it's like, it's not even
okay,
fun.
Right. I'm inspired now. Alright, so, closing time, yes, it's shit and cringe, but it comes from an honest place of he's just trying to make some shit humor for Americans because Americans are watching the show at this point, which I hate it, but it's not as bad as Hellbent. Because with Hellbent, the intention here is to... I don't even know what the intention is. It's essentially to try and make this kind of epic finale, but without really putting in the effort. So it's just kind of artificially kind of throwing as much shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So part of what Series 9's theme has been is that it's dangerous to act like the Doctor and there's consequences for it. And so the consequence wasn't Face the Raven, Clara died. Whereas now, well, clearly there's no consequence because Clara was able to be brought back and it's heavily implied she's now going to live a far longer lifespan than she would have originally in her own TARDIS with Maisie Williams. And so it's just like, what was the point of that? It's another instance of Stephen Moffat just not being able to kill off a character, just completely shitting over everything that he was trying to do, because the whole point was that there's consequences for trying to be the Doctor, but she doesn't face any consequences. And it always begs the question, why does Doctor not go back to Gallifrey to save other friends or other people who deserve to die? Why just Clara? Why is he just picking out Clara? Did he not think about Eirich, when he was doing this with Clara? It was ridiculous. And there's also, murders for it, and it's just kind of palmed off. It's just like, oh, it's like having a cold. And it's just like, it's just ridiculous. I don't buy that the Doctor would do this. And then to compound matters, to make things worse, Moffat ruined RTD's Time War character arc by bringing back Gallifrey, by saying that Gallifrey actually survived the Time War, meaning that all of that kind of guilt that the Doctor had for 5 or 6 years, completely worthless. It meant nothing because Gallifrey was safe the whole time now. And then, so he's already ruined it, but it's like, okay, so you've ruined that, but at least you're going to do something cool with Gallifrey, right? You're actually going to do something with it to make that worth it. Oh, no. No. Let's just have the first 10 minutes focused on Gallifrey, then for no reason have Rassilon, the most powerful Time Lord ever lived, piss off because the Doctor looked a bit angry and people wouldn't shoot him. and then just completely ignore Gallifrey for the rest of it, and just have it be all about bloody Clara, which at this point it'd been 2 series that it was all about Clara overshadowing every story, and it's literally overshadowing what should have been the biggest moment of New Who, finally returning to Gallifrey after like the central theme of quite a lot of New Who had been Doctor destroyed Gallifrey and there's no more Time Lords, and yet it's overshadowed by Clara, fucking Clara. And I just despise it with every fibre of my being, and I cannot levy that same level of anger at closing time, because it's just being like, closing time's purpose is to be a bit of fluff for Yanks, and I hate that, but it's far less shite.
And to add on top of that, the Cybermen, yes, they were ruined in closing time, but you look at something like World Enough in Time, they were salvageable. You can save the Cybermen and rejuvenate them, whereas with what happened in Hell Bent, you can't fix that. It's a forever problem now with what they did in Hell Bent. Like, it's not something that any writer could come along and actually repair, I don't think. Like, it's done. What the pain is, like, the damage is done with Hell Bent, and it's yeah, you literally, because like Chris Chibnall tried to fix it, he just made it worse.
Yeah, it's like the only way to fix what Hellbent's done to Doctor Who is just to pretend it doesn't exist. In my opinion, just pretend it didn't happen, and nobody will care. You know, like nobody's gonna weep for Hellbent. Apart from like some weird people who think, oh, my themes, it's good, my themes.
Yeah, whereas, you know, you can just be like, well, this one patch of Cybermen were really shit, but we'll give you another patch of Cybermen somewhere down the line that is much better, and that's exactly what they did, and it worked, and people have forgotten how shit they were in closing time, whereas I don't see how I'm ever going to forget the damage that was done in Hellbent, because it's just, how can you avoid it? It's like, just... It
shits over everything New Who had been building up to.
And
like, by just, the Gallifrey, as I said, it's meant to be, that should be the biggest moment for Doctor Who since, like, it returning.
And...
Yet, it's all just ditched in favour of, you know, ruining Clara's kind of character arc for the season and just saying, oh, there is no consequences, making it all about her, which, by the way, had been something that had been annoying for the past couple of seasons, where all of the plots and things like that were almost always overshadowed by, but what is Clara up to? Who is Clara? What is Clara's relationship status? It was like a creepily obsessive with her, and this was the shit icing on the
And it's crazy.
Cake.
It's crazy, because they portray the hybrid. They allude to it being one of the reasons the Doctor left Gallifrey in the first place. So it shits on Classic Who as well. So it's like, well, now the Doctor and Clara's relationship is now all part of Classic Who, and it already was.
So the Doctor and Clara's relationship is now literally the defining feature of the show. Which that's ridiculously egotistical to think that you can imprint your character that you've kind of brought into this onto the entire history of the show.
He did that in
which has
Series
been
7
made by
as
many
well.
different people over 50 years.
He
did that there as well. And then Hellbent compounded that issue by saying, okay, so literally the entire show up to this point has been about Clara, even before she was in it.
Yeah, and in Series 8 as well, and Listen, he did that as well. And then he forgets her, so all of that was actually, you know, meaningless, and then he remembers her, so even him forgetting her was meaningless too.
It's just a completely cynical, meaningless episode. It ruins so many things. Like, it's impressive how many features of Doctor Who it manages to ruin in one. Like, seriously, man, how did he do it?
The one lasting consequence that Hellbent had was that the Doctor forgot Clara, and by the end of his era in Twice Upon a Time, he actually remembers her. So even that consequence was fucking retconned as well.
How can people defend that piece of shit, man?
Oh, because my themes.
Such contrarians. It's such contrarians. And I say that as a contrarian, but, you know, at least when I'm contrarian, it's like, well, you know, Colony in Space is actually a classic, if you think about it. Rather than, like, you know, defending shit like this, which actually ruins so much of what's been built up for over a decade.
Yeah, like with Colony in Space, it's literally just like, well, you know, the sets are shit and the costumes look cheap, and if you're not into the politics, then it'll be a bit boring for you. But that's like, people think that that's the bar of shit for Doctor Who, and it's really not. It's actually really well written, whereas Hellbent is just utter drivel. And people like it because, you know, it has really good actors and it has a really good director shooting it. So, and characters that are invested in are in it. Fuck it.
And as I said earlier about just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. So you start off and you have Rassilon, right? So that's one thing thrown at the wall. That's kind of killed off 10 minutes. Then you've got the Sisterhood of Khan.
Oh yeah, Moffat's ADHD.
Another thing thrown at the wall. And then you have, like, you know, Clara being brought back. And then you have, you know, Time Lord regenerating a black woman for the first time. It's like, okay, there's another 5 minutes burned. There's another, like, cheap shock. And then we're going to move on to, oh, look, my Daleks, my Cybermen, my Weeping Angel.
Yep, then the classic TARDIS as well.
With the TIE fighters. Oh, yeah, a classic TARDIS that'll burn another 5 minutes. Oh, you've got Maisie Williams, famous Game of Thrones actor. There's another 10 minutes burned off, you know. Just like all of these things just being flashed up in front of you to distract you from the fact that there's actually nothing to this episode apart from just retconning and ruining so much about the show.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's really put things in perspective, actually. How much worse it is than Closing Time.
Yeah, okay, so earlier I said that Hellbent is only a nano hair worse than Hellbent. I take that back. Closing Time is a far better story. Like, at least it's I hate it and it's horrible, but it has a certain innocence about it which Hellbent very much does not have.
Absolutely. Hellbent's one of those stories where
Hellbent is guilty. Hellbent is guilty, and that's my final word on the matter.
It's
I'm
one of
never
those
talking
stories
about
where
that shit again.
It's one of those stories where you forget how bad it is until you start thinking about how bad it was, and then you remember how bad it fucking was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you're ready for, like, Clara's stance to tell us, you just don't like it because you're sexist and don't like Clara being the focus of the show.
I've had this opinion for 6 years and it's not changed. Hellbent is the worst episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen, and I doubt it'll ever
you're right.
bottoms. I can't stand it. It's fucking awful.
Even Chibnall's own Hellbent isn't as bad.
Oh yeah, Time of Children's
I'm
wank.
talking about the Times Children, by the way.
Time of Children is wank, but, like, you know...
It doesn't manage to ruin quite as much.
It doesn't have enough energy to be as bad as Hellbent.
Yeah, exactly. Chibnall doesn't have the creativity necessary to ruin this much about the show.
To be fair, unlike Hellbent, there are some scenes in Timeless Children that do make me laugh ironically, like the fucking basketball scene. It's quite funny.
Yeah, my hoop, my theme, my hoops.
Yeah.
We're shooting the hoops.
And the bloody Graham telling Yaz she's amazing scene. It's
Yaz,
kind of...
you're so great. I know that we haven't seen anything on screen that you've done that's great. And I know that you don't even have a character yet, and we're 2 years in, but you're just such a great person.
Yeah, I find Timeless Children funny bad at some points, so that's a redeeming quality. Whereas Hellbent is it just makes me angry and sour and bitter inside.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, I'm done talking about Hellbent.
That's probably the most complimentary you've ever been to Closing Time in your life.
Well, it's because you really put it in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You really did put it in perspective compared to Hellbent.
Exactly. Anyway, thanks for coming on this amazing video we just did.
Oh, twas beautiful.
Yeah, that means that next up in this series after this will be Meglos, which is I've actually already filmed because I'm doing these out of order because of a scheduling issue. But for you guys watching, the next one will be Meglos, so look forward to that. Anything else you want to say before we close off the video?
Oh, I mean, just 6-parter supremacy. Come on, up with 6-parters.
Yep, and Horns of Nimon is great. Isn't it?
And it would be even better if it was a 6-parter.
Yeah, but the novelisation was done by Uncle Terence, and we should all read it for some bit more camp.
The reason I'm saying that is because Terence Dix in a lot of the interview says this story much better if it was only 4 parts. But I strongly disagree with you, Master Terence. I know you're a legend and you probably know the show better than me, but still, I love a good 6-parter.
I do love a good 6-parter. Like I've seen them all now. And the only one I don't like is The Invasion of Time. 6-parters are excellent.
And Terence Dix knew how to get the most out of a 6-part because he'd put Malcolm Hulk on the 6-parters.
Oh, mate, when they were together to do a 10-parter, it was my favourite story of all time, so, you know.
Yeah, like, how can a man, like, say, oh, everything better is a 4-parter, when he wrote, like, a 10-episode story that's like not boring at any point.
It's literally one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life. It's so good. Even though it's cheap, but that's what Doctor Who is. It's lovely when it's cheap because the writers and actors actually try. Unlike
The War Games doesn't seem cheap to me. I thought that was quite an epic. I mean, especially with a variety of costumes.
Oh, I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying like you can't like compare it to fucking $1 million art. But what I'm saying is that it's endearing enough to be as enjoyable as anything else I've seen. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like this. It's kind of like the perfect example of our little show that we enjoy. As opposed to something like, I don't know, like the Ghost Monument, which has like a Hollywood looking budget, but the story is just nothing.
Does nothing with it. It's like the War Games manages to create this grand epic feeling on like, you know, a budget of a few shoestrings and buttons.
Yeah.
Yet with all their all that glitters is not gold. Like all of that money spent on the Ghost Monument, and it doesn't feel epic at all. It just feels barren, desolate, empty, lacking in any life or substance whatsoever.
Yeah, and bloody the dialogue is like trying to drag your fucking head through a grate. It's just so clunky and blech. Because that's Chris Chibnall for you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed the Horns of Nimon. We'll see you all next time. Bye bye.
See you next time, lads. I'm Banter.